dealing with sunbeds, artificial tanning units. Yeah. With the rise in skin cancer, and for most people, the main source of UV radiation is the sun. However, with artificial tanning units, you're getting UV radiation, which has been classified as a carcinogen by the IARC. A previous study in 2010 was part of a nationwide study in England to collate the data from the emission of sunbeds. So we collected the spectral irradiance, which we were able to add an action spectra, which is basically the biological effectiveness from the UV. So in sunbeds, you got a UVA and UVB component, with the UVA component be the longer wavelength. So from this, we're able to work out the spectral irradiance and then put that in terms of erythemal irradiance. So the scientific community on consumer products has a guideline of 0.3 radiance watts per meter squared. However, our findings were they're actually coming in at a mean of over 400 sunbeds of 0.56 watts per meter squared. So that's nearly double the guidelines that are out there. We worked closely with the Office of National Statistics to find what kind of holidays people take. So we took it as the amount of days people take abroad. So we took it, say, an average of 10.5 days abroad. So it's a bit less than 2 weeks, but that works out to be 85 SED based on dosimetry studies done in the past. SED's standard erythemal dose is 100 joules per meter squared. We had this great data set on over 400 sunbeds, so it's the largest European comprehensive study taken. So we then worked closely with Leiden University, which have done previously studies with squamous cell carcinoma, keratinocyte cancer, and non-melanoma, unlike melanoma. But this stems from chronic exposure to UV radiation. So working then with Leiden University, we were able to use their kind of tumor model. They did work on the induction on tumors on albino mice. We were able to work out an algorithm which is basically down to two most important factors. It's your age and then your dose. And then from parameters, power parameters, from epidemiological studies, we're able to add this in to our model. So what we really kind of discovered then is like what's kind of an age risk that you'd be most likely to look at. So we give it said, right, you wouldn't really have exposure for infant. So we said, right, holiday exposure from 5 years onwards. And we said, all right, we give it a kind of period, a 15-year period, starting at age 20 up to 35, which is kind of average sunbed use anyway in the population. So we add this on into the model as well. And also, when you're in a sunbed, you're not applying sunscreen. People are actually wanting to get irradiated by UV. So you're getting your full about 85% excluding your trunks, where day to day you're getting about 10%, like 4%. And then you got your holidays, sunbeds, and day to day. So that adds up to extra risk on top of your baseline exposure. From our original study of 0.56, that was just the mean. There's quite a variation in sunbeds out there. Sunbeds range from 280 to 400 nanometers, and the UVB range is 280 to 315, which causes direct damage, but the longer wavelengths, 315 to 400 nanometers, can penetrate further down into the epidermis and into the basal layer, which causes DNA damage to CPD or 6,4 photo products. So we said, right, would it be fair, we'd look at different percentile outputs. So we looked at the 95th, the 5th, and the 50th medium outputs, and put these into our sunbed model as well. From that, we were able to look at then situation, right? This is just a normal office worker. They're not getting much day to day, but they might go on a sunbed. So we looked at it then and said, right, at age, when you get to mid-age, what is the kind of risk then we're looking at? So about a 50% output then, we got about 82 SED. So, and then we're able to work out then mid-50s, you get a 40% increase. But then if you look at the medium level, you get 176 SED per annum. So then we looked at, right, what's the risk there? You get 90% risk on top of your baseline dose. or baseline situation. And then if you look at the higher end, 302 SED per annum, you're looking at 180% risk by mid-50s with additional use of sunbeds. Well, in 2010, I went to NHS Tayside, and an opportunity came up to work with CRUK to embark in a journey. While in the past, we did look into sunbeds in Scotland. We didn't have looked at the newer versions, high power output of sunbeds up to 250 watts. So these new fast tan sunbeds were out there, but there's very little data actually in England on this. So we took part to find the largest comprehensive survey on sunbeds throughout England and the suburbs of London. They started kind of mid 2000s, so they kind of went faster tans. These stand-up beds, people go in 3 minutes and just go out at night, and then they've kind of like got like popularity just due to this quick tan look, and Met in Chelsea and all these kind of shows. But yeah, but I think the spray on tan maybe is a safer way. Obviously, in skin world, like people can say, just outright stop them. So you have like the likes of Brazil stop them, Australia following suit as well. Well, you could have licensing, but you need people to enforce it, and local governmental bodies and councils. I've worked with these in the past, and they don't have the funds to do this. And at the end of the day, you're putting artificial UV light on you, which we discovered is 2 to 3 times the amount from Mediterranean noon sun from Greece. So it kind of like, it doesn't make sense that northern kind of skin types, like especially Celtic skin types, if you're red hair and freckle, you're not kind of built genetically to be put into an artificial unit. Sunbeds, that's going to be Mediterranean sun.